Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Saturday afternoon Zoom call. It's the 21st of June today, 2025, and here in the Southern Hemisphere, the shortest day. A very special welcome to all our guests, but particularly to our launch call today for our new brand partner, Jan. Please introduce yourself, Jan.
Jan, you need to unmute. I've asked you to.
Go. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for those who are able to be on the call. We did have a tragedy with part of our friends and family, so everyone might not join today, but I did decide to still carry on with the call and press through. But thank you so much and welcome to those who can be on the call today. And to all of you presenters, so appreciate you.
Oh, it's such a pleasure, Jan, and we'll record this so anyone who can't be here, he'll be able to share. Well, we are recording. You can share with anybody who's not here. That's great. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Merle Westcott. I am, like Kathy, based in Durban, South Africa, and a few other brand partners on this call. We're all in Durban. I was introduced to LifeWave in December 2022, and at the time, I was never going to tell anyone about it. But when I started seeing the results, I realized that I had to tell people. It would be remiss of me not to. And as a result, I now hold a rank of Senior Presidential Director, which is the top rank in the company. So I started for the product. And why did I start for the product? I've been in complementary therapy for the last 30 years. I'm a life alignment therapist and teacher, as well as a nutritionist. And the nutrition I practice is not necessarily weight loss related, although I did work with people who wanted to lose weight, but it's more linked to getting people off their diabetic medication, lowering CRP markers in the body because inflammation is very much impacted by the gut, and looking at autoimmune disease and helping people to reverse that with nutrition, basically low carb nutrition. So in other words, cutting all your sugar, all your carbs, all your seed oils, all those kinds of things. But there's a missing link, and the missing link was the LifeWave patches. So when I discovered LifeWave and I discovered how powerful it was, I didn't know how powerful it was, but when I discovered how powerful it was, I realized that I could impact way more people by helping others grow a LifeWave network than I could by doing therapy. Because with therapy, I can work with one person at a time, or with nutrition, one client at a time, and I can help them. But even those people benefit so much more when they start to patch. So that's my patching story. And I will tell you more when we get to the testimony section, and I will do the business part of this presentation. But I'm going to hand over to Caroline so she can introduce herself, and Caroline is going to do the product part of the presentation today. So over to you, Caroline.
Thank you, Mel, and hello, everyone. I'm Caroline. I live in the UK, but I'm Danish. I started patching a year and a half ago because I am also a practitioner. I'm a homeopath and a herbalist, and I was on a quest to find something that could fix my very stiff knee. So when I heard about this and did my research, and I did a little bit before I jumped in, as we all do. I think we want to know that it can really be true. I thought, well, I'm going to try it on myself, and if it works, then I'll try it on my patients. And actually, I had a couple of people who said straight away, "Oh, let me try." So a couple of us jumped in, and I started my journey, which at first was actually pretty unspectacular. I didn't really feel anything. So, but it was early days, and I was obviously not a one patch wonder. But a couple of weeks into the whole patching, and I was only patching X39, I was realizing I was sleeping so much better than I had been. And with that was a lot less pain and other things as well. So maybe I should save the rest of the story, because I've got a lot of good stories from my patients as well till after the presentation, Merle. But should we just get started? Because I will just say I did resolve my knee for anyone who's interested, but I can tell more to that later. And yes, we can see that. We just need it a little bit bigger. Exactly. So we always ask anyone who's on our call, have you been patched yet? as you realize, a lot of us have been patched, but for anyone who hasn't tried it yet, this is your chance to really experience the magic of X39. It will elevate and activate and regenerate your body when you start wearing it. And it's the most magical little plaster. We won't be able to ever talk about these amazing patches without talking about the inventor, David Schmidt. He's the CEO, and he has now got more than 200 patents under his name. He's the most remarkable person. He's just out to, I feel he's out to save humanity, really. He's got so many wonderful inventions that he's wanting to share with us, and over the next many years to come as well. And but back in 2008, he got very interested in cell research, and he wanted to specialize in age reversing, and find out whether there was any way he could maybe benefit. We could wake up our stem cells in a natural way. So the recent patent took about 10 years and over 4.5 million to bring to market. So it was not an easy to get the patent, but the patent was given. And to get a patent, you probably know, it's not an easy thing at all. You have to show that it does what it says on the tin. As such, you have to provide the clinical studies. And if we look at what this particular patent does, it tells us that it provides phototherapy to the human body. And for example, in some embodiments, as a result of elevating copper peptides, including activation of stem cells, improvement in energy, elevation of antioxidants, reduction in inflammation, management of pain, improvement in stamina, elevation of collagen production, and improved wound healing. And these are all from the clinical studies and from the patent. And I mean, any of those would be amazing, but to have all of these in one patch is just astounding. So why do we need a stem cell activation patch? Well, the fewer cells we have, the faster we age and the slower we heal. And I think all of us at a certain age will testify that we do feel our age, or we have started feeling our age. And that's just what hundreds of millions of people all over the world are doing. And one of the reasons for that, and it was one of the things I didn't actually know, was that by 30, we've only got half our stem cells active. And when you're 60, and I'm 66, you actually lose most of your stem cell activity. And that is obviously the reason why we're just not healing the same way. We've got aches and pains that we didn't used to have. So yeah, this is really interesting. If you can wake some of those stem cells up, we have a chance to what do you call it? Age backwards. That's what I wanted to say. And how does it work? Well, it's a proprietary form of phototherapy. It's a patented nanocrystal technology, and nanocrystal just means very, very small crystals encased in a small plaster, and it just reflects the light from our own body. We emit a low-level infrared light from our bodies, and when you put that little plaster on, what happens is there is a reflection back into our body, a bit like if you were in the sun and you got the sun on your skin, and the skin would produce, or you would produce vitamin D through that interaction. When we put this little plaster on, it reflects back into our body a certain copper peptide, and that copper peptide is the important bit, because that is the one that can talk to our stem cells and wake up our stem cells. And that's the exciting bit of this. There's absolutely no drugs, no chemicals, or no stimulants. It's completely non-invasive, and I think that is a really big one for me, and I'm sure for a lot of us here on this call. And the benefits of X39 are amazing just from the clinical studies. I mean, and I can probably say that I've got all of these. I've experienced all of these over my year and a half. Increased strength for sure, reduced inflammation. I think that was probably one of the things that really helped my knee. Increased stamina, absolutely, and energy and vitality. A lot of us realize that we have this new energy. We wake up refreshed in the morning, and probably also because, as it says further down the list, we have so much better sleep. We've got mental clarity, restored muscle and skeletal conditions. The sleep is completely changed. I sleep like a log now, and it's every night, and it's just such a blessing. And improves skin appearance because it also helps our collagen. So we can achieve optimal health and a state of physical, mental, and social well-being wearing X39. But I maybe also should just say quickly at this stage that X39 don't claim to cure anything. So we are just using this patch in order to help our body self-heal. Now, this is a really interesting map, and it's a topography map of a 77-year-old yoga teacher, actually, who had they did a test with her over 6 weeks where they put X39 on the back of her neck. And the first picture you can see there's she's not patching, and there's a lot of inflammation. The red that you can see on the picture is inflammation, and there's a lack of brain coherence. But already in session 2, and that's just 3 weeks on X39, there's no more inflammation and much improved brain coherence. And at session 6, there's a complete turnaround. And her brain calmed down dramatically already at the second visit. By 6 weeks, it remained calm. So really, really interesting study of that map. And again, here we have the long-term results as per the studies from thisisit.info.com, which is a great website that we have the privilege of being able to look at. It's a good little screenshot to take, or we'll come back to it later if you want to write it down. But in there, we can see that from the studies that the first few days, 4,000 genes begin to reset when you wear X39. And within 6 weeks, as we just saw on the previous slide, the brain becomes more balanced. And within 3 months, your collagen is increased. And this is a really important bit as well, because collagen isn't just hair and nails. It's what keeps our body ticking over. It's in our gut, it's in our joints, and it's very, very important for our bodies to have the right amount of collagen. And it's wonderful to know that even if you're not seeing it straight away, this is working on the inside of your body as well. And within 6 months, your heart reverses in age. I mean, amazing, really. So it's not anti-aging, it's age reversing, as David Smith would like to say. So how do you wear your X39? Well, you wear your patch 12 hours on and 12 hours off. And you have the 12 hours off so that you can also give your body a chance to both repair and rejuvenate. You don't want to wear a patch 24/7 because there is a danger that your body will get used to the effect. So it's very important with the 12 hours off and 12 hours on. And you would wear X39 in the day. So in the evening, you throw the patch away, and next morning, you'll put a new patch on. And so you keep going every day. You can get a little bit more joy out of your patch. Maybe save it because there's about 4 or 5 hours left in it. So if you had a dog or a partner or a kid that you wanted to patch, you could put your used patch on, but you're never going to get the ultimate effect from not wearing a new one. If you want to, try it properly, then you should wear 12 hours on and 12 hours off. And you can wear more than one patch at a but don't wear more than one X39 or any given patch. You just need to wear one at any given time because they don't get better just for wearing two. But we have a couple of other patches that people like to wear. For instance, Eon, which is a fantastic inflammation patch. You could wear that at the same time of X39. But you never wear more than one X39 at a time. And then you must remember to drink plenty of water. It's really, really important for the patches to work optimally, but also to avoid any detox. If you have some late electrolytes, even better. It really helps your cells make the most of these amazing patches. So X39 is very sophisticated and is also very simple to explain and very simple to use. And the testimonies are often life-changing and emotional. And I'm sure that you'll hear some of those testimonials today. And the best thing about it is it absolutely works.
Thanks so much, Caroline. That was an amazing presentation. So I'm going to start with Kathy
You're
Mercer because you
welcome.
said you're going to hear life-changing testimonies. So for those of you who don't know, Kathy started the call, but I don't know if those of you who don't know her, she's also a chiropractor, but she's going to tell you her own story. She can tell you about her patients too, but her own story is the one that is life-changing, and she looks better and better every time we see her.
Yes, this product is absolutely life transforming. So I lost my 20s, my 30s, and really most of my entire life to chronic fatigue syndrome. I have tried a myriad of different interventions, whether it's homeopathic, allopathic, all form of alternative and medical intervention. Nothing has given me the consistent change that the X39 has. Everything from my gut issues to my joint pain to my muscle pain to my extreme fatigue, where I used to wake and wonder, how do I get to the bathroom? Just unable to move my body, the headaches, the brain fog, the lethargy, the absolute lack of joy and vitality in life. So, as I said, I have tried varying degrees of success, but nothing lasted. Nothing really achieved what I was looking for. And I've looked for something for most of my adult life. And I was better in my 40s. I'm 55 now, and I was better. I was told that if I had my children sort of after an ME diagnosis, I would be better. And yes, it did help. But I often felt like my family was deprived of the true essence of who I am, because often the days were about survival. And if there was a little bit left over, my patients got it. Unfortunately, not my family. So I cannot tell you what a joy it is to have strength and vitality in my body. And in fact, I was listening to a podcast about the importance of exercise and balance work for longevity. And apparently at 55, I'm supposed to be a little wary of, will I be falling? Will I be able to, if I bent down to pick something off the floor, would I be able to do it? Would I worry about getting down onto the floor and being able to get up? Through the strength and vitality that these patches give me, it's not a conscious thought. I've forgotten that I'm supposed to feel middle-aged because I don't. So if anyone is hesitant about starting, don't. It gives hope and there's more to this patch than meets the eye. And we each have our own individual journeys, and start yours today and experience the life transforming benefits of these patches. Thanks, Merle.
Thanks, Kathy. When Kathy started patching, when she was going to make the decision to start, I met her. And I can tell you, having watched her journey over the last year and a bit, she has changed completely. I mean, I think when Kathy started, you could see how many patients a day?
I would battle with 2 to 3. Sometimes I can work a full day now without with any fallout. I can exercising 5 to 6 days a week now. I can work, I can play, and it was one or the other. And I didn't play because it was too much effort. Even on a good day, it was too much effort to be able to get that enthusiasm to not, I wasn't depressed, but to get that, we just put one step in front of the other to get through the day. So to have joy and vitality, and it's not like you put the patch on and everything changes. I don't want to give you a false perception. I've had good days, I've had iffy days, and I've had bad days. But every time I've had a worse day, I've never once had that thought, oh no, I'm heading towards a total relapse. in my bed for weeks and months to recover. If often there would be a choice. If I exercise today, what is going to be the payoff tomorrow or further down the week? How do I recover from that? No, I don't. I just go ahead and do things of different intensities. And I love that my body is now working with me instead of against me.
Thanks, Kathy. So Mish is now on the call. So as I said earlier on, she was racing to get that. So now I'm going to ask Mish for her testimony.
Hi everyone, sorry I was late to the call. So just to add to Kathy's, we have a mutual patient, and our patient went to Kathy recently and came back and said, "What is Kathy doing?" And I said to her, "It's the patches," and she's signed up. She calls her Radiant Kathy now because she is just radiant. So that should just illustrate how good that response has been. My own journey has been somewhat different. I didn't have anything as severe as Kathy. What I did have was eczema from the age of 18 months old. And in November, I woke up eczema free. Now I've got a little bit of eczema, nowhere near as bad as I used to have. And I know I can now manage it with the Eon or X39 or both. And it's no longer the bind that it used to be. I can wash dishes by hand now, which I could never do before. Which actually, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Anyway, I can wash dishes by hand. I can use, domestic products and clean my house better. But what I really find is the increased energy and my knee. I had a failed knee surgery. I love tennis. I live for tennis. And I'm now playing tennis without a knee brace. I can do 2-3 hours on the tennis court. I'm not sore the next day. And then the other thing I want to mention is gut issues have improved in me, but also in my mom. She could never eat normal food. And now she can. She can eat pasta. She can eat gluten if she wants. She can eat pretty much a varied diet, which it's the first time since I've been little that she's been able to eat a varied diet. And that is huge because it opens up avenues that were closed before. She could not go to a restaurant for fear that she would be sore the next day. She could not visit family for fear that she would be in severe pain, or even worse, have a response while she was still visiting with those family members. So she was quite reclusive, and she's been now able to actually go out and see people, meet for coffee, book club, Bible study, eats here, eats there, and it really has changed her life. So she is more social than I've ever known her in my life before. So that's
And your
great.
mom's piano?
And she's a classical musician. She loves playing piano. And she could not play classical music anymore because of her arthritic hands. She could manage hymns, simpler pieces, but she could never do the intricate movements. And she's playing beautifully again. So, yeah, I'm so ecstatic for her.
Thanks, Mish. I know Mish and Kathy both patch their patients as well. I don't know if you both want to talk about that or just one of you.
I certainly find that using IceWave in some of my patients that I can't help with something else really does relieve the pain. So like rib cracks, you can help a patient with a sore head or a sore neck or whatever the case might be, but a fractured rib is not something that I can treat, but I can remove the pain or relieve the pain by using IceWave patches. And then occasionally you get a patient who's allergic to conventional anti-inflammatories, and Eon is an absolute game changer there.
I use the IceWave, the painkiller, and Aeon, the anti-inflam, quite extensively in my practice, for a myriad of things to help break that pain cycle and that inflammation, whether it's neck or low back pain or knee pain or headaches. And I'm finding now that patients are actually asking for it. So they know that is definitely curtails the duration of their episodes.
Thanks, ladies. Melissa, I'm going to ask you, and then we're going to go to Caroline's story, and then, yeah.
Sure. Hello, everybody. First of all, I've got an engagement party next door, so I hope it's quiet enough. Just shout if you can hear the noise over me. Okay, so I've got two stories that were equally as exciting. The one, my husband developed polymyalgia last year in about, I think it must have been mid-year, about June, July-ish. We didn't know what was wrong with him. And if anyone knows, it's a kind of a long-term autoimmune disease. It doesn't just, there's no quick fix. So when he was finally diagnosed, he was in so much pain every day and miserable and couldn't surf. Um, the rheumatologist put him on cortisone daily, prednisone, and methotrexate to cope with the pain. Anyway, at some point, I managed to get through to him just to humor me and try patching. And he did think I was a bit nuts, but I think he was so desperate that he did. And I forget exactly when it was, but I think in about October, November last year. So he'd been patching for about 3 months when he went back for a follow-up appointment. And he had weaned himself completely off methotrexate, completely off prednisone, and was just using the patches. And his doctor was completely gobsmacked that he was managing without any other form of painkiller. Like Dr. Kathy said, it's not foolproof. He has some days where it's still there a little bit, niggles him, but he certainly doesn't need to be taking all those horrible drugs. And he's been surfing happily again for the last 2 or 3 months, back to normal. Yeah, it's not fixed, but he's managing and he's got his life back, which is amazing. And then just myself, the best thing that happened to me, I think, is that I'd fallen down the stairs and hurt my hip years ago. And I just got accustomed to living with the pain and the niggle in my hip and that and joint pain and obviously I'm feeling like I was older than I was. That's gone completely. And I had a really, really quick reaction. My hip pain went almost immediately. Menopause, not being able to sleep. I sleep beautifully. I used to wake up on average 10 to 15 times a night. I was awake more than I was sleeping, tossing and turning and having flashes, and that's all settled. And I really, really enjoy my sleep now. So that's about it.
Thanks,
Thanks.
Melissa. Those are brilliant testimonies. Caroline, you're going to tell
Yeah,
us about your knee.
just to continue on the story that I really felt a difference. After a little while of waiting, it suddenly started rolling in. First the sleep, then the pain started slowly going from my neck and my fingers. And I think I've said this enough times, we get used to having pain in our bodies, so we don't really notice it. But when it goes, you really do realize what you've been carrying around. And I had gotten to a point where I was waking up at night and I had pain in the middle of my hands, in my joint, and my fingers were just completely unable to bend in the morning. So I'd wake up completely stiff fingers and fat fingers as well. So that was the first thing that happened. And over the next couple of weeks, and slowly, I could just feel I just had such energy as well. That was just the other thing that happened when I started sleeping better, and the pain from the night went away. I woke up and just was ready to go. And I think that's one of the things, as a 66-year-old, you really don't take for granted that you wake up with a spring in your step. But I really feel I do. And I feel that that's followed me through this whole period of hatching. I just feel energized. And I feel like maybe in the old days, I had moments where I would go, oh my God, it's too much. I can't think. I just feel overwhelmed. That feeling has just gone. I'm in a stressy situation sometimes, and I just say, and I look at myself and I think, you're coping. Everything's going smooth. We'll get there. And I just talk myself into, yeah, this is going to be fine. And so that also that clarity of mind and that feeling of slight calmness that comes with the patches has also been amazing for me. My husband also reluctantly got started, and he's an old motorbiker, and he also rides a horse and has kick-started many a motorbike over the time, and his hip was really going, and the riding hadn't helped his hip. But when his horse stepped on his foot one day and he got really sore toe, I finally got my chance to put a patch on him. And when that resolved his pain very, very quickly over 2 days, and he'd forgotten he'd even had it happen, and he was convinced he'd broken his toe. And anyway, after that, he just came into the kitchen every morning and put his patch on. And a couple of weeks in, he said, I don't know what's happening with me. I feel kind of young. And he is a little bit younger than me, but he's not that young. And then he said, you know what? I can kick this motorbike. I can kick the bikes over, and nothing happens at all. And I mean, I don't feel the pain, but I can swing my leg over the bike as well, and I don't have that like, oh, any minute now. So that was the two thing that happened. Then lo and behold, the other day, and Mish knows about this because I contacted her. He kickstarted another bike, and something broke so that he, instead of feeling resistance for the kick, his whole foot went through, and he pinged something in the middle of his leg, and he couldn't walk. He couldn't even put his foot on the floor. And so I got him back, and he was like real agony. And I thought, well, where do we go? So I texted Mish and said, Mish, help, where do I put Ice Wave on here? And we just decided to just do the usual clockwork. And there was a very tiny improvement at 12 o'clock with the pain patch, with the brown patch onto the pain. But to be fair, nothing really touched it at all that day. But I kept patching, and I put all the patches I had all around his sore leg, and we put a little kind of thin bandage on, and then patched on top of the bandage, because obviously it's got hairy legs, and I didn't want to pull 7 patches off his legs. I knew that was not going to be a popular but we did it that way. And 3 days in, and I did some stack patching as well on the recommendation of Mish as well. 3 days in, and he's put his foot down, he's walking. We went to see that he hadn't actually torn the whole muscle. He has got a tear, and that's it, nothing else. But 3 days in, he is now back on walking on it with a stick. But nevertheless, he could not even stand on it, and he hasn't used a single painkiller. So it's an early story, this one. I hope to be able to. The doctor said it'll take him 6 to 8 weeks to get back to normal. So let's see how long it takes. We'll to be continued. But anyway, I love the patches.
Thanks, Caroline. No, Caroline's also recommended to lots of her patients, as I've recommended to lots of my clients. And we all have these husbands who perhaps think we're a little crazy. My husband, I started patching him when I started patching. So I had a shoulder injury in 2012, and in my first week, I had a huge improvement in my shoulder. And over time, it's got better and better and better. And then 4 months in, I had my yearly blood tests, and my thyroid had improved. So we halved my medication, or my doctor halved my medication. We never take ourselves off medication, although some people wean themselves off things like prednisone, etc. But we don't recommend that. Should do it with your doctor. But my husband's story is that he had tinnitus, which has improved slightly. Some people's tinnitus goes completely very quickly, but his has gone slightly. He also has had knee surgery, and he has a bit of aches and pains in his knee. He kept thinking, well, my knees are a bit better, but what's happening? Now, stem cells always go where they need to go first to heal, and this is what's really important. 2 years in, he went to his dentist. Now, he has had a hereditary gum disease called pyorrhea, which some of you may have heard of, where your teeth stay strong in your jaw, you get pockets, your gum become like pocket-like, and you get infections, etc., under your gum. So since his 20s, he's had to use water picks, all kinds of different things. Oral hygiene is twice a year to keep it clear, because obviously everything linked to your mouth, your gums, can impact your heart, it impacts the rest of your body. It's really, not great. In January, he went to his dentist for something, and his dentist said, I don't believe this. He said, well, what don't you believe? He said, there is no trace of the pyorrhea at all. It's completely gone. Now, given that he's in his 50s, it's hereditary. His late mom had surgery for it. His sister has it. He's had it all his life and been treated for it. It's unbelievable that it's completely gone. It's taken 2 years, though. So in his case, the stem cells can now start working on the other things, because that was obviously the most important thing, also quite a big thing. So we never know what is going to heal first. So people might complain because they say, well, I've got this sore back, or I've got whatever it is, and it's not getting better. But you don't know there's an issue with your kidneys, your heart, your liver, something that's more important. And your body is going to prioritize what's most important for you. You don't have a say in what that is. So I think that's just something that's important to point out. I mean, Melissa's husband started patching very soon after he was diagnosed with polymyalgia. Alex, who is a brand partner in our team and who often presents, she had polymyalgia for 20 years, and it took her 10 months to be pain-free from her polymyalgia. other things happened in between. So everybody's journey is different. So when people say, can I have a testimony for someone who has whatever it is, because I need to share that with someone, their journey might be different. So somebody might have a result in 3 months and somebody else it might take 10. And somebody might have a result in 1 day, but for somebody else, it's not going to be the same. And that's why it's always important to know how the patches work, which is what Caroline explained, especially when it comes to X39. If you want to know anything about the other patches, go back to the person who invited you to this call. So let's carry on with the presentation. So Caroline said to you that we would come back to the slide. She did talk about it when she gave you the different things that happen. This is at info.com. If you haven't been to this website, it really is well worth visiting. When I joined, I didn't join because I saw a presentation like this. All I saw was David Schmidt, who is our CEO, as you heard earlier, talking to healthcare professionals. And there's an abbreviated version of that talk on This Is It Info. So there's a lovely little video about how phototherapy works. I think that's a second video. Then there's David Schmidt. Then there's Dr. Leyland Stillman talking about it. He's a medical doctor. He's a brand partner in the team. There's a panel of doctors. There's all the patents, the testimonies. There's all kinds of things. So you can spend as much time or as little time as you like on that site. All right, so when I joined in December 22, and when I decided in sort of February the following year that maybe I was going to build this as a business because one of my long-time clients had the most phenomenal results. In her case, her spinal cord is regenerated. And again, if you want to see that testimony, ask the person who invited you to the call. I thought I'd better find out about the company because I wasn't going to tell people about a network marketing company that I didn't feel was secure and safe and was, I knew the product was amazing. But we now are a 20-year-old company. We turned 21 this year. So already we were a very stable company that had been around for a very long time. We're now open in over 80 countries, not 75. But the most exciting thing about LifeWave is we're not a Me Too product because of the patent. And when Caroline showed you that patent, the product was X39 was patented in 2020. So we have 15 years left on the patent. So nobody can copy what we have. Whereas if you have a skincare or a weight loss supplement or some other kind of product, people might buy from you, but when they're short of money, they are going to go to their local pharmacy or health store and buy something cheaper, even if it's not as good as the product you have, because they're what we call Me Too products. Other companies have the same thing. Nobody has the patches we have. The other thing that's happened in LifeWave, and it's one of the things that shows us how amazing the product is the growth of the company since 2021. So 2020, X39 was patented. 2021, we did a $20 million turnover. Last year, we did over 600 million. This year, we're on track to do over $1 billion. So if you have a look at those figures, no company is going to have that amount of growth if the product doesn't work. So we are on a site called businessforhome.org, which is an American site that rates all the different multi-level marketing companies. It shows what their standing is, those that are about to kind of go under. You can find all kinds of information. The most important thing about LifeWave is that we are the #1 momentum company in the industry. And we have got that award for the last 2 years. So they have something called the Global Bravo Awards. This year, David Schmidt won the Global Bravo Award for the most innovative product in the industry. Last year, we won the award for #1 growth company, which we won again this year. So this is just a picture of David Schmidt on the left with Meredith Burkett, who's the company's president, and then Stephen Gina Merritt, who started This Is a Team, which is the team we are part of. And the team that we are part of is not only the fastest growing team in LifeWave, it's the fastest growing team in network marketing in the world. Because the system that Steve and Gina put together, and I'm going to tell you about the system, is what's catapulting people to success because it's easily duplicatable. It's a system that we all use. On the right, you can see Meredith and her corporate team receiving the Global Bravo Award in 2024. And there we received it again in 2025, and you can see Meredith in the middle there with mostly her corporate team, and Steve and Gina were there as well, because at the Global Bravo Awards, they were invited to speak. So they were there with our corporate team. And that's just a picture of the first event that Steve and Gina put together for the team. They put team events together to help us grow our business, which is separate to corporate. And this was the event. They called it This Is It, and that's where the team got its name. In January, I was in Vegas speaking at Rise Up, which was their first event for the year. It was mainly a virtual event. We were 500 people in the studio, though. We were in Eric Rory's studio. And I will be in Orlando in August at Next Level, which is their next event. Right, so at this point of the presentation, we always ask, what is the most important thing in your life? Is it your family? Or what about time? Do you feel like you don't have any time freedom because you're like on this little hamster wheel and you're working all the time and you can't do things that you want to do? Are you looking for security? And that could be financial security or even security of having good health. Because when you don't have your health, you have nothing. Would you like to travel more? LifeWave gives you huge opportunities to travel. Better health, obviously most of us want. That's why I joined LifeWave. Or what about less debt? So I joined for better health, but I have gained absolutely everything on that list from LifeWave. So I'm going to briefly talk about the compensation plan. And the reason that I'm going to be brief is that our compensation plan is being enhanced. And we're all very excited about it because enhancement means that it is getting better. So at the moment, we have 4 ways of earning in LifeWave. We are going to have 9 ways. Well, we actually have a bonus way, which is 5 ways at the moment, and we're going to have a bonus 10, but I'll talk about that just now. So if you're on the presentation today and you think, I want to patch, but I never want to tell another person about this product, then you could come in as a customer, but you could come in as a customer who gets wholesale price, because who wants to pay retail? So you'd be a preferred customer or preferred customer plus. You could choose one of those options. The person who introduced you to the product will earn something off you every month, but you will get the same price that they get, but you'll have a monthly subscription order. So that's one of the ways we earn. Then we love building teams in LifeWave. So we build a binary, which is a left and a right leg. And from that binary, we earn commission. And the team commission from the binary is capped at $25,000 a week. Now let that sink in. 25,000 US a week is the cap for the binary. It's going to be the cap in the new comp plan too, and that's only one of the ways that we can earn. Going manager is the most important thing in LifeWave, and to go manager, you need to come in and you need to bring 2 people in on your left and 2 people in on your right, and of course they need to be active. Then we have something called a matching bonus, and a matching bonus is unlimited. We're still going to have matching bonuses in our new comp plan. And matching bonuses mean that if I bring somebody in my first line and I help them build their business, I will make 25% off every cycle that they get or everything that they get off the binary, but none of their money. They still get all their money. The company rewards me. People they brought in as their second level, we get paid on the second level, and then we get paid on the third level, which is the people on the second level bring in. So that is another way that we earn. So how do you come into LifeWave? I always say you come in where you fit in. So if where you fit in is as a customer, that's great. You sign up as a customer under the person who brought you in. If down the line you've had amazing results and you think, I want to be a brand partner, well, you can sign up as a brand partner then. But there's nothing that you don't have to do that. So nobody ever has to be involved in the business. And if you come in as a customer, you're not on that binary. Your volume just goes to the person who brought you in. So if you come in, I came in on core because I was never going to build a business. So on core for $295, we pay in dollars, even in South Africa. I know there are people here from the UK. There might be people from Europe. In Europe, they pay in euros. But the rest of the world, we pretty much pay in dollars. But obviously, it's converted to our local currency. So on core, it's $295. You get 3 sleeves of X39, but you can replace any one sleeve with 2 sleeves of our supplementary patches, which is a great saving. So if you wanted the Ice Wave and Eon, that mission Kathy spoke about, you could replace one with those 2. If I knew what I knew now, I would have come in on advanced. Instead, I upgraded to advanced because LifeWave allows you to upgrade and just pay the difference and get the difference in product, which is something other companies often don't do. You have to start all over again. But if you want to go manager, you need to be on advanced. Advanced is $535, but you get 6 sleeves of X39. So you can see you're really getting a great saving because you're getting 3 for $295 and 6 for $535. So that's a great saving. If you are a therapist or you own a pharmacy or a health store or you want a lot of product because you want to get product into people's hands faster, then you would come in on premium. where for $1,750, you would get 20 sleeves of X39. So their price is $87.50 a sleeve then, instead of $99.95. My local pharmacy have been in my downline for over 2 years now. They started on core. They were very skeptical. The pharmacist was very skeptical. The nursing sister was totally on board. They started patching like Kathy and Mish do with Eon and Icewave in their clinic. In the first week, they saw such amazing results that they upgraded to premium in that first week that they were in business. And they patch people every single day. In fact, they've had to employ a second nursing sister, and they have 2 rooms running in their clinic now every single day, because people come in were asking for patches because they've heard from their friends that their pain's gone or their inflammation's gone. That's how incredible our product is. If you come in on premium, you don't have to purchase product for 3 months and you stay active. Now, staying active is important, and I'll talk about it now. We also have a 30-day money-back guarantee for brand partners. We have a 90-day money-back guarantee on your first order for customers. Why do we need to stay active? In any business, if nobody buys product, nobody earns any money. So if you're a florist and you don't sell flowers, well, there's no money. Or a bottle store and you don't sell alcohol, or a gross, fruit shop, fruit and veg shop, and there's no fruit and veg moved, no one's going to do anything. LifeWave doesn't expect you to buy huge amounts of product. If you are not a manager, you need 1 sleeve of patches a month to stay active. In a sleeve of patches of X39, you get 30 patches. That's a month's supply, so pretty much you need that. Once you're a manager, you need 2 sleeves of product to stay active. And for most of us, that's so easy. My husband and I both patch. That's already all we need for the month, although we do buy other patches. Up until recently, I used to buy my son's patches on my account too, but he's now working in America, and so he has his own account. And I'm going to start him building a LifeWave business for himself too. So we spoke about this is at info.com. We also have a business site called thisisateam.com, again put together by Steve and Gina. If you bought a franchise and if you looked at LifeWave as being an amazing franchise opportunity, except you're not paying to buy that franchise, you're just paying for the product, but you're getting your own website, you're getting everything to start a business as you sign up. This is a team gives you all the information. There are hour-long webinars on there that explain the comp plan. There are little webinars that explain how you sign somebody up, how you change from the left to the right leg on your binary, how you should build the business. Absolutely everything you need to make a success of LifeWave is on thisisateam.com. Again, when I joined, Steve and Gina had only joined a few months before me. They hadn't put this together yet, and we kind of bumbled through. And it took me quite a while to figure out exactly what I was doing. I had to work through everything in the back office. Now it's all done for you. So if anybody joins today, you can go onto that website even before you join, and you can start working through all the amazing information. So the time is now to make your move. We always say, are you serious about your dream? What is your dream? There really is hope for your future, and it's about getting started with X39. So thanks everybody for being on the call this evening. It's not this evening, it's afternoon still. We're going into evening in South Africa. It is lovely to have so many people on a Saturday afternoon call. And if you have any questions that we haven't answered, please go back to the person who invited you. They will be able to answer absolutely everything. Or if they can't, they can put you on a 3-way call with me, and we'll be happy to help. And Jan, thank you for launching your business today. And I hope that your guests who are not here get to watch the recording. As soon as it's downloaded, I will post it on the group. So thank you, everybody. Enjoy your evening. And thank you, Caroline, for presenting with me today.